Hello, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remy. I'm a teacher of chemistry. Our topic today is trends in the properties of elements in the periodic table. We are going to focus about classification of the elements. Let's start by the meaning of the term periodic table. The periodic table is a chart which categorizes elements in groups and periods by referring to their atomic numbers. Remember, this term atomic number shows the location, the position of an element on this chart called the periodic table. Classification of the elements. Elements of the periodic table are classified into metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. Let's start by the term metals. Metals are elements located on the left side of the periodic table. Nonmetals are elements located on the upper right side of the periodic table. The last term here we have is a metalloid, or what we call semi-metal. Have properties of both metals and nonmetals. They are located in the middle of the periodic table of elements. Here, remember that if you are classifying the elements, remember they are classified into three. They are classified into metals, nonmetals, and the metalloids. Let's focus about the periods and the groups. Within the chart of a periodic table, this chart shows the periods and the groups. Periods are horizontal rows in the periodic table, while groups are vertical columns in the periodic table. Let's here have the common understanding about the other names of the groups. We have group 1. We have group 1 in a column 1, which is called the alkali metals. In these alkali metals, remember, we have sodium, we have lithium, we have potassium, and other elements. Group 2, its name is alkaline earth metals. This means are elements that have 2 electrons in their outermost shell. Those elements we have magnesium, we have calcium. Group 3. This group 3 is called the earth metals. Here we have aluminium. Those elements that have 3 electrons in their outermost shell. And then in our periodic table, we have the elements called the transition metals. Those really located in the middle of periodic table. We have column 16, or the column or group 6. This group 6 is called the chalcogens, the elements that have 6 electrons in their outermost shell. Those are oxygen, have sulfur, and the other elements that have 6 electrons in their outermost shell. Group 7, which is column 17. This group is called the halogens. These are elements that have 7 electrons in their outermost shell. Really remember, they need only one electron in order to be stable. Those who have fluorine, we have chlorine, we have bromine, and the other elements really have this rule of having 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Group 8, it is called the noble gases. Remember also, it is called the group 0. On the other name, it is the inert gases. These are the elements that have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, or 2 electrons for helium. These noble gases are the only elements in the periodic table which are stable. They do not react. Let's also focus about variation in metallic and non-metallic character across a period. Remember, periods are the horizontal laws in the periodic table. Let's start for metals. This metallic character, as we move from left to right, the metallic character decreases. This is for metals. While for non-metals, as we move from left to right, the non-metallic character increases. We have to know the difference between these metals and the non-metals. For metals, from left to right, the metallic character decreases. For the non-metals, it is opposite. As we move from left to right, the non-metallic character increases. Variation in metallic and non-metallic character down a group. We are going to focus about group. Remember, group is a vertical column. For metals, as we move down the group, the metallic character increases. For non-metals, as you down the group, the non-metallic character decreases. Let's focus about the trends in reactivity for metals and the non-metals. This term trends means changes. How the reactivity takes place within metals and the non-metals. For the metals, we see that the reactivity increases as you move down the group. In other words, we can say, as you move from up to down through the metals, the reactivity increases. This reactivity decreases as you move from left to right across the period. In other words, we can say, as we move from left to right across the period, the metallic reactivity or the reactivity of metals decreases. For the non-metals, as we move from left to right in the period, we see that the reactivity increases. In other words, we can say, from left to right in the period, the reactivity of non-metals increases. As we move down a group in the non-metals, the reactivity decreases. In other words, we can say, as we move from up to down through the group, the reactivity of non-metals decreases. We are going to talk about the physical properties of metals. Remember, at the beginning, we classify our elements into 3: metals, non-metals, and the metalloids. we are going to talk about the physical properties of those classification. Let's start about the metals. The physical properties of metals. They are usually have high density. They have high melting point. Those are the metals. They have high boiling point. The metals are a good conductor of heat and electricity. The metals also are malleable and ductile. This term malleable is a property of metal where can be hammered and produce the iron sheet. The metals are sonorous. These are the physical properties of metals. Here we have physical properties of nanometals. They have low densities. If we compare the physical properties of metals and nanometals, the metals, we really focus about the term high, while for these nanometals, we have the term low. They have low melting point. They have low boiling point. They are poor conductors of heat and electricity. They are not malleable and ductile. They are not sonorous. These are the physical properties of nanometals. Physical properties of metalloids. Remember, these metalloids also are called the semimetals. These elements called the metalloids have properties of both metals and the nanometals. Another property, they are solid that can be dull and shine. They conduct heat and electricity better than nanometals, but not as well as the metals. They are ductile and malleable. Really, these are the physical properties of metalloids. Let's end our topic today by giving examples of metalloids. These elements of metalloids. Really, we have 8 metalloids. Here we have boron, we have silicon, we have germanium, we have arsenic, we have antimony, we have tellurium, we have polonium, the last is the astatine. These are examples of metalloids elements. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe. Remember to like. Remember to give a comment and share to your friends. Bye bye.